Grown conversation, part two. We just gonna get all the serious videos done today. Uh, White supremacist men hunting black church women for access to black church money and influence. Alert. This was brought to my attention several weeks ago, and I'm going to link the video that she did in the description by Shantae Charles, Daring Dialogue, and Life Nation. Apparently, there is a trend, and she ended up putting up a post about this trend of white ministers marrying black women and then finding their way into black church circles and conventions. And someone assumed that she was talking about him. He goes on a whole stalking regime. Well, you know what happened then. Shantae and I dug all up in it. And sure enough, the hit dog did holler. But what that means is there's enough of them around so that they're hollering. Now, we've talked about on this channel already how, if somehow Donald Trump gets his stuff snatched, Madam DA Letitia James will be the person responsible for it. Now, Mr. Alvin Bragg, Mr. DA Alvin Bragg is actually the one doing the criminal case in New York. So black men may get some blowback from this too, but when it comes to the big money, and then in Georgia, where the next Republican president could not pardon Donald Trump out, Madam DA Fani Willis. And Madam DA Fani Willis survived the attempt to remove her. And she like, that train is still coming. She ain't backing down. So we have had about a year. And then Judge Chutkan also, Judge Tanya, Her Honor, Judge Tanya Chutkan gave Donald Trump a hard time in court too. So we have a situation in which for about a year now, D. Alvin Bragg is taking his turn of being the face. But see, you haven't seen Mr. D.A. Allen Bragg on the news as often. His face has not come up often as online. Whereas Letitia James and uh, Fonnie Willis have been attacked and their faces have been everywhere. So you see what's happening is the narrative is being black women taking down Donald Trump. So I've already shared with y'all, I've been talking about this for about 9 months, that what you don't want to do is to be a target of these men's revenge rituals. And then, of course, we've had the recent tragic death of young Miss Sade Robinson at the hands of a white man who disposed of her in the most unseemly. And then I have another video to make about that too, actually, because of some of the responses I got that I am not pleased with from black men. Um, so you have to understand, black women are being hunted by no good white men too. Now, some no good black men are sitting back and mocking, but it's different between mocking and actually killing. That's two different, very different things. But see, this is now the wrinkle. Remember on the previous video I talked about, you need to be sure what God's people worship, because you got white people out here talking about it's God's will that black women and children have defects and die in order to control the population of blacks and other minorities, and that they have sisters, mothers, wives, and daughters who are in the healthcare system doing what they think their God's will is. When we talked about that, this is a different wrinkle. This is religious white men who are seeking access to black audiences and black money through marrying black church women. And since 85% of black women are churched, that's a big hunting pool. Now, I need to tell you, this man, I still got the screenshot, but it ain't my story to tell. Of this individual, I know who it is. We went all up and down his Twitter page, laughed half the night. Because, see, here's what happened. The black woman he was married to divorced him when she found out what he was up to. So when Miss Shantae Charles came out here and talked about him, She all the way triggered him because he could not deal with another self-actualized black woman calling him on his mess. He couldn't deal with it. He was triggered. His responses to her, of course, now her and her husband are kind of like me. If you get our attention, we may have to refer you up the line to higher authorities because we just not gonna do this. We not gonna do this. But and then he's about 6 foot forever and a half, and also in wonderful condition. So it's just kind of like, man, if you even come near her, he gonna snap you like a twig. You try, and of course the men who just we rolled all up and down his page and all this and all that he's doing and just how the mighty have fallen. Because what it looks like is she had access to all these different spaces, and when she threw him over, eventually everybody else did too. Little apron string hanging on a church on a church apron string hanging ministry, sir. That's what was going on there. And this is another reason why black women are being hunted. I need y'all to understand. Stephanie Perry, Adelia Borshade, and Rashida Dow have been saying this, and also Marissa Price is saying this, and Lifting As We Climb is saying this. Alicia Renice, the artist, is saying this. A bunch of people are saying this. The default position, Auntie Love from Confidence Love has definitely been saying it, probably louder and more bluntly than anybody else. The default position of the United States of America is not the love of black women. The default position of men in the United States is not the love of black women. And that definitely includes white men. If you are not sure about this, please, 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 please pick up a history book. I don't need you to go back to 1864, although you can go to Arizona and they've got 1864 laws back on the books. I need you to go back to 1964. I need you to see grown men yelling foul things along with their sisters, their mothers, their wives, and their daughters at little Ruby Bridges, a little girl, black girl. I need you to see how black women who were in civil rights marches of that time were treated and how they were not spared any. I need you to go and I need you to learn who Fannie Lou Hamer is and what she went through. I need you to go. Auntie Love will provide you the postcards because we are used to seeing black men lynched, but we ain't given enough time to understand that strange fruit did not discriminate on the basis of gender. Southern trees bore some strange fruit that was also women and children. And while you're doing that, find out what was done to Billie Holiday. I need you to understand you cannot afford to be ignorant, foolish, or delusional. Now, I will not hold truck with the black men who are mocking Shawty Robinson's death. We're not going to do that over here. And like I said, I got another video to do about that. That'll probably come out tomorrow. Well, relative to you tomorrow. I just get everybody mad midweek. And then clear up some space because we got bigger fish to fry next week. But I need you to understand. You must learn to vet. I did a video about that relative to Sade Robinson. There are a lot of predatory men in this country. There are a lot of predatory white men too. In addition to predatory men who are your brothers, well, I mean, not your blood brothers, hopefully, but given the incest numbers, given what black women have gone through before the age of 18, 60%, but your in group, but your out group has not changed all that much either. And again, quote, men of God who are white are hunting black women in order to get access to black church money. It is grift twice removed. And by the way, black pastors are standing back and letting this happen and supporting it. Mr. Church Apron Strings out here. All these black ministers were giving him access to their churches. They didn't vet him either. So they were letting him come in there. And who are the majority of people sitting up in black churches being pimped out? Oh, because we're gonna come and see him because some of us are divested, and there are even people who call themselves Christian divestors because we want ourselves a little piece of that white man. His wife threw him over, y'all. She knew better than that. That man ain't been right since. I've been up and down his Twitter page. His little grift got snatched. But see, I would hate to be the black woman he got with next, because she gonna pay for all that. Don't let it be you. Literally, white men are attempting to directly reestablish the plantation system through the last great remnant of it, the plantation church, by getting black women to marry to get access to it. And they are allowing black pastors to be overseers to let them in the gate. Which is why you have to be double D dog sure. That's why I said to you, take that previous video, show it to your pastor about that article about people in the name of God calling for the defects and deaths of black women and children, and find out if the people who are over you are okay with that. If they are, they're also going to be okay of letting wolves of all colors in to savage you and your children. And again, let Sade Robinson be a lesson to you. Let the fact that Letitia James and Fonnie Willis are pretty and Judge Chutkan unassailable, but you are not, be a lesson to you. Y'all do not get taken advantage of out here in these streets and in these churches. Please don't. Okay, I have one more serious video to do. Shorter, equally grim. I'm just gonna upset everybody today and tomorrow and the next day and just get it out of the way. Y'all have a good day now. Goodbye.